What do you think about this design? Is it a 1? Is it a 9? And you tell me why.
What's the highest?
One is bad, 10 is the highest.
I give it 1/10.
This is an advert for a bank. It's called the firstbankmortgages.com. Right?
Okay.
They're in the US. So I'm going to allow you to take your time and look at it and then tell me what you think about it and rate it over 10.
Okay, so from at least what I read briefly on the screen, it's a mortgage ad, and they are trying to tell us that we can partake or something like that by playing this game. That's why dice is there.
Okay.
But
Okay, that's fair.
to
What do
me,
you think? Okay. No, yes. No, let me finish. Please.
This print is too tiny, and it doesn't immediately depict that you are playing a game to do this. It's confusing.
It's confusing, right? Okay.
Yes.
Good. Nana, your turn.
I feel it's a mortgage ad, and their plan is that so that you don't have to. Maybe what I'm picking out of all of this is that you can be playing dominoes and they can be taking care of your mortgage for you. I don't know how.
Right.
But it's quite confusing because you have to read through to understand. For somebody that is heading out to the cinema that is in a rush, it's interesting.
Right.
Like, you can decide that you want to keep it for later, but it's not something you look at a glance and understand the message they are trying to pass across.
Right. So Nana is right with her breakdown of what the advert is. Right?
Yeah.
What they are trying to say is, don't worry about your mortgages. Let us worry about your mortgages. In the meantime, learn how to play dominoes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So this is a classic example of a designer of a designer that thinks that they are too smart. You get like the idea. This is an ad that is just too clever, because the average person would not read these 4 paragraphs of how to play dominoes before they get here, because this is the message. Worry less about your mortgage and more about your free time. That's the message.
Yeah.
Right? But you want to make people read these 4 paragraphs before they get to the message. They'll throw your flyer away. Do you understand? Yeah. And this is another classic example. This is a good example of beautiful design. Like I say beautiful in quotes. Use my fingers. It's beautiful design. Right? There's good structure. There's a focus element. There's good contrast. There's everything. All the design principles are followed in this design. Right? So this looks better than this, for example, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Right? But still, this is bad design because the message isn't passed. The problem isn't solved.
The message isn't clear.
Isn't that true? Yeah. Do you understand now? That some really fine designs can be bad designs, and some really ugly designs can be good designs. Right? The best design in the world would be really fine designs that are good designs as well. Does that make sense? That's what we should be aiming for. But if you cannot get really fine design that is a good design, at least get a good design that is ugly. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right. So basically, let's do a breakdown. So before you do a breakdown, tell me what you guys rate this as over 10.
Since we all know and we can all see that this is actually a nice design. I mean, the color is nice. Everything is just, the only problem that I can see here is just they were not direct to the main message. So And the fonts they even used for these instructions on how to play Dominion is quite and very, very tiny. Stressful to read.
Right.
So I feel maybe a 7. No, 8.
An 8.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what do you think?
I feel the main purpose of the flyer, the message isn't clear at all. So I feel that was defeated. So I'll just give it a 3.
A 3. Okay. So this is the one design we've gotten the widest range, the widest gap in both Moi and Nana's rating, right? So when you said the design looks good, it looks like it's a really nice design, so you're going to give it a 7, right? So let's print this picture. So say you owned the company, you're one of the owners of First Bank. Moi, are you listening? Yeah?
I'm listening.
Yeah, and someone gives you this design, you're like, that design is fine, I like it, it's 7/10. Let's send out the flyers. Right? And you print 10,000 flyers and give it to the people in your location, in your vicinity, right? And only 2 people come back and say, I want to do my mortgage with the First Bank. How would you feel? Would you still rate it a 7?
No, because just 2 people out of 10,000.
10,000.
That's waste of money, time, the energy. No, I would not still rate it a 7.
Right. But if someone gave you a design that was ugly and they took it out and you printed 10,000 flyers and out of 10,000, 5,000 came back, what would you rate the ugly design?
I'll rate it. Oh, okay. I'll rate it well since I got the feedback.
Since it solved your problem.
Yes.
Do you see how I need you to start to understand good versus bad?
Yes.
Right? This design looks good, but this design will not work if you print 10,000 and give it out to people. Nobody will come back to First Bank. Maybe 2 people. You know those. I don't know if you know those old men that like to just sit down and not just do nothing and just maybe play checkers and just have all the time in the world. Maybe those men will be the ones that will come back because they read everything. They learned how to play. Let me learn how to play dominoes. They play dominoes until worry less about your mortgage. Do you understand? Maybe those people will come back, but the average person would not get past number 1. Even all of you been talking about this advert for the past 10 minutes. Nobody has read past number 1. Do you understand that has happened?
Yeah.
Babe, just now. Right? So the point is that this advert will not work if it was printed. So it's bad design. It's beautiful design, but it's still bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So if as a business owner, you would throw this design away and say, no, give me the one that says the simple, come and buy your mortgage now. We sell it for 50% off or something like that. That one will probably bring in 5,000 people as compared to this one. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I just want you to know that so that you don't just judge designs because they look good. You need to judge designs because they work or they don't work. Does that make sense? Like Steve Jobs said at the beginning of this class.
Yeah.
All right?
Yes, sir.
So the first thing I noted is that this is a well-structured design, isn't it? But it is too clever. It is so clever that you missed out on the people that were rushing are not going to read this design. People that are easily distracted will not read this design. People that don't read newspapers will probably never read this design. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's too clever because you eliminate all of those different classes of people, and those people could be potential clients for the First Bank. Correct? The message is confusing. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Right. So you give it a 5 over 10. Personally, I think we should even change it to a 4 over 10. Right? So it's only a 4 or a 5 because it's still is well structured. Right? If you change the information on it, the content on it, and leave the same structure, then this becomes a really good design. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Right. So, what about you, Nana?
1.
A 1. Okay, great. So we're getting lower and lower. I like this. I'm happy. So yeah, the first problem with this design is that there's just too much everything. Right? Do you agree?
Yes.
Right. Then there are a ton of irrelevant elements. There's Extra Life, there's World Champion, there's Reviver, Planter, and Goa, there's Vitamin and Hormones. Let's do a quick test. What do you think the name of the product is?
Extra Life.
Extra Life. Nana, you said Extra Life, Abi?
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Moe? What's the name of the product?
I don't know, Super Thrive.
Super Thrive. So the name of the product is Super Thrive. But the fact that it's so hard to even know what the name is because there are so many things that are just as big as the name.
The name, yeah.
Do you see where the problem lies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So there's no visual flow. It's very stressful to read. You can agree to all of these things, right?
Yes.
Right. And it is very, very confusing. So my rating is a 0. Absolute 0 over 10. Right? Does anybody have any problem with this rating?
No.
Okay, cool. You know that this advert is in French?
Yeah.
Do you realize that good design is universal? This is one of my favorite designs ever.